Dear friends, today we are going to discuss one more important topic of history textbook for class 9th. This topic is in chapter 1st, the French Revolution. The name of the topic is the outbreak of the revolution. But before starting this topic, the outbreak of the revolution, let me tell you that if you recall the previous video in which we have discussed the reasons for MPT of state treasury, how the state treasury of France got MPT, what were the main reasons for it. So if you have got that very topic properly, then we will get this topic properly. Clear? So starting this topic, the outbreak of the revolution, what happened in France after that? Clear? So when the state treasury of France got MPT, what the king decided, what the king of France, Louis XVI, decided. Louis XVI actually made a plan to impose tax on the people of third estate because he wanted to meet the expenses of the state, as the state treasury had already got MPT. So the king finally decided that we must have to impose tax on the people of third estate. So he made a plan for it. But what was the thing? The king cannot impose that very tax without the meeting of the States General. Here I want to tell you that the king alone cannot impose tax on the people of third estate. He must have to summon the meeting of the States General, and in that very meeting the proposal for new taxes was passed. Clear? So he decided, what he decided, we had seen that the last meeting of the States General, EG stands for States General, was called in 1614. And from 1614 till the outbreak of revolution in 1789, none of the meeting of the States General was convened in France. None of the meeting of the States General was called in France. So, what the king decided then? On 5th May, Louis XVI, the king of France, held a meeting of the States General to pass the proposal for new taxes, and simply from that very taxes he wanted to meet the expenses of the state, as I earlier told you. Clear? So on 5th May, the king Louis XVI decided to call a meeting of the States General. What was a States General? A States General was a political body to which the three estates sent their representatives. The people of first estate, second estate, and third estate. It was simply a political body, and in that very political body, the people of the first estate, second estate, and third estate sent their representatives. Clear? So 5th May, when the king Louis XVI called this very meeting of a States General, and in that very meeting 300 representatives each from first estate and second estate. Here I want to tell you that the first estate and second estate sent 300 representatives each in the meeting of States General. Clear? Collectively, these two estates sent 600 representatives. Clear? While as 600 representatives from third estate. The third estate sent 600 representatives in the meeting of States General, which was called on 5th May 1789. Clear? But the people from third estate who went there as representatives were mostly prosperous and educated people. As we had seen, as I want to tell you one thing, important one thing, that the third estate was an amalgamation of so many people. It was an amalgamation of workers, peasants, women. It was an amalgamation of laborers, clear, artisans, manufacturers, doctors, lawyers. But who went there as representatives from the side of third estate? The people who were prosperous and the people who were educated. Clear? So here you must have to remember this thing, that the peasants, artisans and women who also belonged to the third estate, that very people were not allowed to attend the meeting of the estate general. Such people were not allowed to attend the meeting of the estate general, but only the people who were prosperous and who were educated from the people of third estate went in the estate general as representatives. Clear? So these people were not allowed, peasants, artisans and women. But we had seen, but their demands and their grievances were listed in near about 40,000 letters. Instead of that, instead of their presentation, their demands and grievances were taken in the meeting of the estate general by these prosperous and educated people. Clear? And they listed their demands in near about 40,000 letters, in near about 40,000 pages. Clear? So what, according to what principle the vote, what was the procedure of the voting in the estate general? Clear? So in the past, the voting in the estate general had been conducted according to the principle that each estate has one vote. So the voting procedure in the estate general was that voting was based on the estate. I mean to say, every estate has one vote. Voting was not given on the basis of member, but voting was given on the basis of estate. I mean to say that each estate has one vote. Clear? Each estate has one vote. So what happened after that? This time the Louis XVI also wanted to continue that very practice, that every estate should be given one vote. As the tradition was there, as the voting procedure was there in the past. So this time the Louis XVI wanted to continue that very same practice also. But the people from the third estate began to demand for equal voting. But they demanded, the people from the third estate demanding that voting now be conducted. This time the voting should be conducted, that each member should be given one vote. Earlier on, it was every estate was given one vote, but this time the people from the third estate began to demand that each member should be given one vote. Clear? So they began to demand for equal voting. Clear? So, but the king rejected the proposal of the third estate. The king rejected the proposal of the third estate when they began to demand that each member should be given one vote. So when the king rejected their proposal, the people of the third estate walked out of the assembly in protest. Here, when the king rejected the proposal of the third estate that each member should not be given one vote, then the people of the third estate walked out of the estate general and they assembled and they gathered in the nearby tennis court. Clear? So simply to frame a constitution, to frame a national assembly. Clear? To frame a national assembly. So they decided that we will not disperse here, we will not move out from the tennis court till we will draft a constitution for France. So they decided to draft a constitution for France, and that very constitution would limit the powers of the monarch. Clear? So actually the people of the third estate wanted to do this. They wanted to draft a constitution for France, and that very constitution would limit the powers of the king. Clear? So when they began to draft the constitution for France, so in that very process, the people of the third estate were led by, the people of the third estate were supported by Mirabeau. Who was Mirabeau? Mirabeau was a member of noble family. He was from the second estate, but he supported the people of the third estate in drafting the constitution for France. And the people of the third estate were also supported by Abbassius. Abbassius was a priest. He was from the first estate, and he wrote a famous pamphlet, What is the Third Estate? What is the third estate? So these people, the Mirabeau, a member of the noble family, and Abbassius from the first estate, they supported the people of the third estate in drafting the constitution for France. So we had seen that, but here we must know that the revolution did not start yet when the whole people were busy in framing the constitution for France. So what was going on in this society, we will take that very thing in the next video. I hope that you have got this very topic properly. If you have any doubt, please let me know. Thank you.